This is an audio course. No need to watch, just listen. Welcome to the latest addition to LinkedIn Learning, podcasts. We've curated some of the best business podcasts and made them even easier to listen to. Each episode is split into sections. Use the links in the contents area to skip to whichever section you like. We're always looking for new ways to help you learn, and we'd appreciate your feedback. Thanks for listening.
I had always wanted to be a professional keynote speaker, Pete, because I had been speaking at all these conferences for my company. And that's what I did. And I launched that into a speaking career. And then fast forward and kind of bringing it to what led into Morning Rituals. In 2008, when the U.S. economy crashed, I crashed with it. I lost over half of my coaching clients. I was a coach at the time. Half my income in 2008. Couldn't pay my mortgage. I lost my house. I canceled my gym membership. My body fat percentage tripled in 6 months. It was just this real 6-month downward spiral. And a sequence of events led me to go on a run and listen to an audio from Jim Rohn. This is the quote that he said on that run. And this quote changed my life faster than I ever thought possible. And it really is the catalyst for the Miracle Morning. And he said, your level of success will seldom exceed your level of personal development, because success is something you attract by the person you become. And in that moment, I went, I'm not dedicating time every day to my personal development. Therefore, I'm not becoming the person that I need to be to create the success that I want in my life. And I had this epiphany that I got to go figure out what the world's most successful people do for their personal development. Googled, best personal development practices of millionaires, billionaires, CEOs, Olympians, you name it. And I had a list of 6 different practices, and they were all timeless. They had all been practiced for centuries, right? And I almost went, well, none of these are new. And I think we're really conditioned in our society to look for the new, right? Mm-hmm. I want the new app, the new movie, the new season on Netflix, right? We want new. We're all new.
And you got to update the app like every month.
Yeah, exactly. And so I almost dismissed these. The epiphany, I finally went, wait a minute. This is what successful people do. I don't do these. And then the real epiphany was, which one of these am I going to do? And then I went, wait, what if I did all of these? Even though I wasn't a morning person, I thought, you know what, if I want my life to improve, I got to improve. I got to wake up an hour earlier and I got to do one of these 6 practices. I woke up the next day. I did them. I sucked at all of them. But 1 hour into it, my very first day, my very first hour of what is now called the Miracle Morning, it didn't have a name back then, I felt incredible. I felt confident for the first time in 6 months. I felt energized. I felt motivated. I felt like I had clarity. And the realization is, if I start every day like this, where I become a better version of the person I was that went to bed the night before, and I do this consistently day after day after day after day, it is only a matter of time before I become the person that I need to be that can create the success that I want, any level that I want, in any and every area of my life. And I thought it would be 6 to 12 months. It was less than 2 months that I more than doubled my income. I went from being in the worst shape of my life physically to committing to run a 52-mile ultra marathon. I had never run more than a mile before. And my depression went away within a couple of days. The first S in Savers stands for silence. And if you think about it, most of us, we don't have a lot of time in silence. It's usually, it's kind of chaos from the time we get up, and then we're in the car listening to podcasts or the radio, music, something like that. And then we're at work with people and on phone calls. And there's usually not a lot of time for kind of peaceful, purposeful silence. Yet when we quiet our mind, that's when our best ideas come, right? It's when we tap into our inner wisdom. We tap into the wisdom of, whatever, if you want to get woo-woo for a second, right? The universe or, higher intelligence, whatever you want to call it, God. But meditation, the way it's been taught, people often, they're taught to, clear your mind. And most people, they can't do that, right? Or it's very challenging, and it takes somebody like years to get to where they can actually do that. Well, for me, I want results. I will use my meditation as a way to set the mindset for the day. So I'll look at my schedule and I'll go, okay, what do I need to accomplish today? And, it depends on what's on the agenda. Like when I just finished writing a new book. And when I was working on that book, every day, every morning, I'd meditate before I'd write, and I would go, man, I need ideas, right? Like I need some content for today. And so I would set my intention for the meditation. So my intention would often be, okay, what am I working on? What chapter am I working on today? All right, I need ideas for this chapter. And I would just set that as an intention. And then I would meditate. And I would always have my notes app on my phone in front of me with my timer going for, 10 minutes usually is what I'd meditate for. And I don't think there was a single day where I wasn't flooded with 6 ideas where I would pause the meditation timer, I'd open up the note tab, and I would write an idea. And then I would go back to meditate, and then I would just sit there, and I wasn't trying to think. When you force thought, you don't usually get your best thought. It's in those moments, and that's why when we're in the shower, not even thinking about something, we have our best ideas. When we're falling asleep, not even thinking about something, we have our best ideas. Well, this is a way to engineer that space for you're tapping into your genius every single morning so that you bring those ideas and that clarity into your day. That's one way to meditate. Another way to do it is sometimes I might have a speech for that day and I go, I need to feel confident. I'm speaking and I will literally just affirm things while I am in my meditation. And I'll just affirm things like what did I do today? I chose 3 statements. The point is, use meditation not to remove thought. You can, and sometimes I'll meditate in that way where I just try to get in a state of being really loving and peaceful. But ultimately, I typically will have a specific result that I want to generate internally, either mentally or emotionally. And I will set that intention going into the meditation, and I will use the meditation actively to do that. So I will think something over and over and over and over while I deeply feel it in a way that will serve me for the rest of the day. When it comes to silence, if you're at all overwhelmed by meditation or anything like that, set a timer on your phone for 10 minutes and be in silence for 10 minutes. That's it. The only way you can fail is if you judge yourself for any part of your experience. If you go, oh, I shouldn't be having these thoughts. Oh, I shouldn't be thinking. Oh, I shouldn't be feeling this way. Oh, I shouldn't have thought of that way. That's the only way you can fail at silence, is to judge your experience.
Mm-hmm.
If you just sit there in silence, you cannot help but get value. It lowers your cortisol levels. When you sit in silence, it's scientifically proven. There are over 1,400 scientific studies that prove the benefits of meditation. Now, granted, if you are intentionally thinking stressful thoughts, I don't know that that would achieve that objective, right? And that's where judging yourself is a stressful thought. So, but yeah, if you sit in silence, you will lower your stress, you'll gain clarity, new insights will come into your mind, and you'll get better with practice. Your first day in silence is your worst day in silence, right?
Mm-hmm.
And every day that you do it, you'll stumble upon new levels of consciousness, new ways of feeling, thinking, being, that once you grab them, you can then get there quicker, easier, stay there longer. And the benefits of spending time in silence will simply be amplified and deepened over time.
Yeah, that's great. So then with the silence, like what makes it silence is just that you're not actively reading something, listening to something, tapping away on your phone or in motion. So you are seated and you maybe have your eyes closed and you're just sort of letting your own internal self be the focus.
Yeah, exactly. I like to sit up straight. There's a wrong way to meditate beyond judging yourself. It is your posture, right? When you sit slouched over, laying down, your breath slows. You want to find the balance between relaxation and alertness, attentiveness, right? So sitting up straight, sitting tall, breathing deeply, right? Like being really alert and aware, but very calm and relaxed. That's the ideal state for that silence. And like you said, yeah, it just means that there's no stimuli. There's no stimuli where you're not focused on something. That's why closing your eyes is good. Now, there are ways of meditating where you can have your eyes open, and sometimes it will open my eyes. Like I said, I'll look at the pictures of my family, or I'll look at a beautiful picture of a sunrise that puts me in a really nice state. But yeah, everything that you said is correct. By the way, setting a timer is the other piece I was going to mention, is that, so you don't have to think, how long am I doing? Am I doing it long enough? Should I do it long, right? Don't be checking the clock. Just have your timer set. And that way, hey, I'm free for 10 minutes to not think about anything or think about it, just whatever. I'm free for 10 minutes just to sit here in silence, and I'm not going to lose track of time because that timer is going to go off when it's time for me to get up and do my, affirmations or whatever's next in your miracle morning.
Let's talk about the affirmations next in the miracle morning. So what do you mean by that? And what do you not mean by that?
First, let me just say, I believe they've been taught incorrectly or ineffectively, I should say, by self-help gurus, if you will, for, I don't know, decades, and I don't know how long. But let me define what an affirmation is, and then I'll talk about why they've been taught wrong and what I find is the most effective way to do them. An affirmation is simply a written statement that directs your focus towards something of value. The way affirmations have been taught, there are two problems with the way they've been taught for, guys, like decades, I don't know, centuries, I don't know how long. Number one is a form of affirmation that's essentially lying to yourself, trying to trick yourself into believing something that is not true or is not yet true. So, for example, let's say you want to be a millionaire. Well, a lot of self-help pioneers have taught, just put the words I am in front of whatever you want to be and say that to yourself until you believe it. So you say, I am a millionaire. I am a millionaire. I am a millionaire. But we all know the truth. We know our truth. And if we're not a millionaire, we want to be a millionaire. When we say I'm a millionaire, our subconscious or even our conscious mind is going to go, no, you're not. You're lying, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're fighting with reality, which is never ideal. The truth will always prevail. Number one problem with affirmations, the way they've been taught, is lying to yourself is not optimal. The second problem with affirmations, the way they've been taught, is that self-help pioneers have taught you to use flowery passive language. So we'll stick on the topic of finances. You may have heard this affirmation. It's very popular, or some variation of this. I am a money magnet. Money flows to me effortlessly and in abundance. Right. And a lot of people say that affirmation and they really like it. And I believe they like it because it makes them feel good in the moment. They go, man, I checked my bank balance this morning and it was negative. So I need some affirmations to make me feel better. I'm a money magnet. Oh, that feels good. Money's flowing to me effortlessly. All my financial problems will be taken care of by the universe or whatever. It's like, no, that's not how money works. Right. It's not effortless. That's very rare. Go buy a lotto ticket, hope, but that's not going to happen most likely. The way that money is created is by you adding value to the world or to the marketplace, and then you're compensated for that value. I'll give you an example of how to use affirmations in a way that is not based in lying to yourself or in this passive language that makes you feel good in the moment, but takes your responsibility away from creating the results that you want. There's 4 steps to create affirmations that produce results. Number 1 is affirm what you're committed to. So don't say I'm a millionaire, or not even I want to be a millionaire. Say I'm committed to becoming a millionaire. It's very different when you affirm something you're committed to versus something that you think you are or want to be that you know you're not, right? The second thing is, why is that deeply meaningful to you? So after you affirm what you're committed to, remind yourself, why is that deeply meaningful to you? If you want to become a millionaire, why? Is it because you want to provide financial freedom for your family? Because you want to buy fancy cars, right? Depending on how meaningful it really is, right? That's going to determine how much leverage you have over yourself to actually do the things necessary to get you there. And that's number 3, is affirm what specifically you're committed to doing that will ensure your success, right? So what are the activities you're committed to that will ensure your success? So I'm committed to increasing my income to $100,000 a year and saving 50% or whatever, right? Get very specific on the activities that you're going to do. When I was in sales, I would affirm how many phone calls I was committed to making every day, because I knew if I made that number of phone calls, my success was inevitable. I couldn't fail. The averages would work themselves out if I made my phone calls every day. And then the 4th part of the affirmation formula is, when specifically are you committed to implementing those activities? So when are you going to make your phone calls? When are you going to run every day to lose that weight? When are you going to take your significant other out on a date or tell them you love them? Or like, what are the activities? When are you going to do them? So those 4 steps: what are you committed to? Why is it deeply meaningful to you? What activities are you committed to doing that will ensure your success? And then when specifically are you committed to doing those activities? Those are the 4 steps to create what I call miracle morning affirmations. And miracle morning affirmations are practical and they're results oriented, and they reinforce the commitments that you need to stick to to ensure that you achieve the results that you want to achieve in your life. Visualization, here's what I'll say. 2 things on it. Number one is the world's best athletes, almost all of them use visualization, including UFC fighters, right?
Uh-huh.
And there's a reason for that. It's they visualize themselves performing optimally and achieving their goals so that they go there mentally and emotionally before they ever step on the court or before they ever open the book or before they ever, right? They've already gone there in their mind. So when it's real time, when it's game time, when it's practice time, it's that much easier to go there. And the other thing I'll say on visualization is don't just visualize the end result. Visualize, in fact, more important, visualize the activity. See yourself getting on the phone to make those calls. See yourself opening your computer to write those words that's going to make that into a book. See yourself going to the gym or lacing up your running shoes and heading at your front door, especially if you don't feel like it or you don't like doing those things. See yourself doing it with a smile on your face in a way that's appealing. And when I was training for my ultra marathon, I hated running. So every morning I visualized myself enjoying running. And because I did it in the morning in my living room, when it was time to run, I actually had already created this anticipation that I would want to do it. And then I actually felt that when it was time to go for a run. And that's the power in visualization.
Oh, that's great. Now, when you say visualize yourself, I'm thinking almost like dreams. You know, sometimes they're first person, sometimes they're third person. Like, do you visualize like you're seeing yourself from a third person vantage point, putting on the shoes?
You can do both, but I usually do third person where I see myself from the outside, right? So I see myself like I'm watching a movie of myself, right? Part of that movie will involve me looking in the mirror usually, right? Like that's part of it, almost always.
The dramatic montage music.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, and feel free to play the music, right? I mean, like literally play that music on your, on your phone while you're doing the visualization. A lot of people do that. The E is for exercise. And here's what I'll say is that if you don't exercise at all, this applies to you. If you exercise, if you already go, I go to the gym after work or on my lunch break, or I like to run in the evenings, it's right? This still applies to you. And here's why. I'm not telling you that you need to switch your gym time to the morning. What I'm telling you is that the benefits of exercising in the morning, even for 60 seconds, okay? If you're sitting on the couch going, I know I should, I don't have any energy. I'm so tired. Stand up and do 60 seconds of jumping jacks. I promise you, at the end of the 60 seconds, you'll be breathing hard. Your blood will be flowing throughout your lymph system, your brain, your body, right? The oxygen, your cells will be oxygenated. You'll feel 10 times more awake than you did before you did those 60 seconds of jumping jacks. So I, in the morning, usually do stretching followed by a 7-minute workout. And that's an app on the phone. It's also on YouTube. It's totally free. I highly recommend it. It's a full body workout in 7 minutes. And it's fast paced. So you get cardio as well as strength training, as well as stretching and flexibility. So that's what I recommend in the morning.
What's the video or the app called?
7-minute workout. Number 7-minute workout.
It's just called 7-minute workout. Okay, that's easy.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. The R is for reading, and I don't need to say much on this, is that every single one of us is one book away, whatever topic we want to improve in our life, we're one book away from learning everything that we need to learn to improve that area of our life. You want to be happy? There's a book on that. In fact, there's hundreds. Want to have an amazing marriage? There's a book on that. In fact, there's hundreds. Do you want to be a millionaire or be wealthy and financially free? There's hundreds of books on that, right? In fact, I just made a documentary called The Miracle Morning. It reveals the morning rituals of some of the world's most successful people. And in that is world-class entrepreneur Joe Polish. And he said that, he goes, when I meet someone and I say, what's the best book you've read in the last year? And they go, well, I don't read. I haven't read a book. He said, it blows my mind that in places where people have access to books and they know how to read, and therefore they have access to everything they need to know to transform anything in their life to be at the most extraordinary level it could be. He said, it blows my mind that people aren't reading every single day. Why aren't you reading every day? It could be 5 or 10 minutes a day. It doesn't have to be a long time. You think about it. If you read 10 pages a day, that's 300 pages a month, right? Mm-hmm. And no, let's say 5 pages a day. That's 150 pages a month, right? That's one self-help book a month. 12 a year. You're a different person. You're separating yourself from 95% of our society, and you're joining the top 5% that reads those books because you're learning everything you need to transform any area of your life. The final S is the word scribing, and that's a pretentious word for writing, but I needed an S for the final, the final part of the Savers to round out the acronym. This is where, goal setting is involved in scribing. That's under that umbrella. Journaling would be my scribing. And I use an app called 5 Minute Journal. They also make a hardcover version if you prefer to write by hand. You could also just write, freehand on a piece of paper. The 5 Minute Journal, I like it because it's scientifically researched and it's very simple and takes 5 minutes. And it's simply pre-prompted statements or questions. And there's just a few. So in the morning, it's 3 things I'm grateful for and the 3 most important things that I need to do today to make today a great day, right? I don't know if it's worded that exact words, but that's paraphrasing, right? How do I, of all my things on my to-do list, what are the 3 that will make the biggest difference in my life, my business, etc.? And so every morning I start by focusing on 3 things I'm grateful for, which remind me that my life's already amazing. Doesn't matter what's going on outside of me. If I focus on internally what I have to be grateful for, everything is, there's always things to feel amazing about. There's always things to complain about. What we focus on becomes our reality. So I start with gratitude, and then I look at my to-do list, I look at my goals, and I go, okay, of the infinite things I could work on today, and out of the 20 things that are on my, my goal and to-do list, what are the 3 that will make the biggest impact for me right now and move me forward toward my most important goals? And you think about it, most people, we don't take the time to just get that level of clarity. It only takes a couple of minutes, but it's a game changer. Because here's the problem. Most of us are busy. Every day we're busy. And being busy tricks our brain into thinking we're being productive. But productive isn't busy. Productive is busy doing the things that move us toward our biggest goals, our greatest dreams, the life that we truly want to live, and the impact we truly want to make. And that simple act of scribing every morning, forcing your brain to clarify it in writing, what are those top 3, priorities? That is, for me, that's been a game changer. And it's allowed me to make massive progress on these goals that once were just fantasies that I never even thought, really believed I could accomplish. We all usually have this monkey on our back of urgency, like, man, I want to be where that guy is or where she is. I want, man, I have all these goals and dreams. I want to be there now. And it creates this feeling of like scarcity where we're not where we want to be. And what I've found, not only in my own life but studying other people, is that anytime you find yourself wishing or wanting that you were further along that you are, just realize that when you finally get to the point that you've been working so hard for so long, you almost never wish it would have happened any sooner. Instead, you look back and you see the timing and the journey were perfect. All the adversity, all the challenges, it all played a part in you becoming the person that you needed to be to get where you want to go. So if you can take that hindsight and bring it into your life now, use that to be at peace, no matter where you are right now, no matter what's going on, no matter difficult or whatever is going on, be at peace with where you are every day along that journey, while you simultaneously maintain a healthy sense of urgency to take action every day to get where you want to go. But don't get there out of a feeling of stress and anxiety and I'm not where I want to be. Just embrace where you are. If you're alive, you're perfect, right? No matter what's going on around you, all that matters is what's going on inside you. So be at peace with where you are and take steps every day to get where you want to go.